Welcome guys to WWE Reloaded. For all your wrestling news, please subscribe. 2 WWE legends who should retire in 2021 and 3 who shouldn't. WWE has made quite a few changes to their roster over the last year as they have let go of several stars since the pandemic began. The WWE Universe also saw a few legends wrestle in their last match in 2020. The Undertaker faced AJ Styles at WrestleMania 36 and hung up his coat and hat for good. Big Show also perhaps wrestled his last match in the company in 2020, as he is currently with AEW. Kane took part in this year's Royal Rumble and was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame later in the year. He too could have wrestled in his last match in the company as he hasn't featured in a legitimate match since 2018. There are a few legends who still feature occasionally in WWE, who could be coming to the end of their career. Let's take a look at 2 WWE legends who should retire and 3 who shouldn't in 2021. 5. Goldberg should retire from WWE in 2021. Goldberg is a pro wrestling icon, but the WCW legend polarizes opinion among fans. Most fans feel that Goldberg is way past his best and shouldn't be wrestling, especially as a main event player, competing for world titles. Goldberg, who will turn 55 later this year, was in a feud with Drew McIntyre earlier this year, when the two faced off at Royal Rumble for the WWE Championship. Goldberg has been used to put over superstars like McIntyre in WWE over the last year, as he did the same with Braun Strowman at last year's WrestleMania. But it's quite clear that he is no longer seen as a legitimate badass in WWE, and there are fears that he, or his opponent, could get injured, like in his match with The Undertaker. It's time for the WWE Hall of Famer to walk off into the sunset and call it a day. Goldberg's detractors, however, will not be pleased to learn that he still has 5 matches remaining on his WWE contract, which expires in 2023. 4. Rey Mysterio shouldn't retire from WWE in 2021. Rey Mysterio is still relevant in WWE in 2021, more than 3 decades after debuting in the pro wrestling business. Mysterio is the current WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champion, which he holds along with his son Dominic. Mysterio, it seems, is not planning to slow down anytime soon or call time on his career, and why should he? The WWE legend is still in great shape and his in-ring abilities haven't diminished with age. He has partnered with his son Dominic, and the Junior Mysterio seems to be learning the ropes quite quickly under the tutelage of his legendary father. Rey Mysterio revealed last year that he doesn't want to wrestle past the age of 50, which is 3 years from now. I'll be 45 in December. And I don't see myself going past 50, that's for sure. My body feels great right now. I've been doing new methods of therapy, stem cells, hyperbaric chambers, cryo chambers, CBDs, a lot of things that benefit me. I think that has given me more longevity. Mysterio still has a lot to offer in WWE and perhaps has one final world title run in him. 3. Daniel Bryan shouldn't retire from WWE in 2021. Daniel Bryan is no longer contracted to WWE as his deal expired in May 2021. WWE is reportedly keen to re-sign him to a new contract, and that Vince McMahon is confident of Bryan returning to the company. Losing Bryan would be a big loss for Vince McMahon's company, especially if he joins a rival promotion. Recent reports indicate that WWE's rumored partnership with NJPW came about after Bryan's desire to work in the Japanese promotion. Bryan is seen as a future Hall of Famer and someone who can help young talent backstage as a producer or in a mentoring role of sorts. But his recent feud with Roman Reigns showed that Bryan has a lot left in his tank and has a lot more to offer as an in-ring performer. He still has a few feuds that he could have in WWE, especially with some up-and-coming stars from NXT. Bryan still looks in great shape and could work as a part-time wrestler in the company, and perhaps wrestle for 2 to 3 years. 2. Brock Lesnar should retire from WWE in 2021. This may be a controversial opinion, but WWE should not depend on Brock Lesnar in the future. The Beast Incarnate is one of the greats of pro wrestling, but fans may be tired of seeing him come in and be pushed right to the top of the card. And Lesnar did not quite push the ratings up during his last run with WWE, as the Raw Go Home show of WrestleMania 36 showed a huge dip in ratings for the segment featuring him and Paul Heyman. Brock Lesnar made his WWE debut the Raw after WrestleMania 18. He made his WWE return on the Raw after WrestleMania 28, 10 years later. While Lesnar could help put over younger stars, like he did with Drew McIntyre last time around, there aren't too many challengers in the world title scene on Raw that need the Lesnar rub. The Beast Incarnate's short runs in WWE may also not be enough to have a meaningful storyline with younger stars like Karrion Kross from NXT. Perhaps the one dream match that Lesnar has remaining is the one with Bobby Lashley. The Almighty has been demanding the match for a long time. WWE should pull the trigger on that match later this year, perhaps at SummerSlam, and get it done with. That could be a great way for Lesnar to bid goodbye to the WWE Universe and put over Lashley, who has looked tremendous since becoming world champion earlier this year. Lesnar doesn't have anything left to achieve in WWE, and this is the perfect time for him to call time on his glorious career. 1. John Cena shouldn't retire from WWE in 2021. John Cena has been a part-time performer in WWE in recent years, and it doesn't seem like he will return to a full-time schedule anytime soon. Recent reports have suggested that Cena will return to WWE later this year to feud with the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, at SummerSlam 2021. Cena has indicated in the recent past that he will never retire from WWE, but he is close to calling time on his in-ring career. The 16-time world champion will be part of WWE for a long time, perhaps in an ambassadorial role following his retirement. When do I walk away with a sense of mental and physical sanity? I'm right at that precipice. I feel great, I'm in the best shape of my life, he added. It's not that I couldn't continue, but I think from this point on I run the risk of tipping that balance the wrong way. The WWE legend, though, shouldn't retire from in-ring action this year, as he may have 2 to 3 matches left in him, perhaps with an up-and-coming star from NXT. He could perhaps give a young star an opportunity like Kurt Angle did all those years ago for him. Thank you for watching WWE Reloaded. Please don't forget to subscribe.